Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the late edition of Australian Indian Radio's daily live Facebook update. My apologies for today, and on Wednesday once again we will have the transmission right at this time. So there's few things which are happening out in the community which we do have to attend. So sometimes the timings might vary, but today has been a very, very special and a very, very important day for me. We will get into that in a little bit of a while to have a look at why it was a very important day and why today we started a little bit late. But first of all, let's take a look at the weather and let's see what the weather is doing. As we know, it's doing wonderfully well out there. It's looking very great. So right now, let's move on and look at the forecast for today. The forecast for today is, for the rest of the day, is maximum of 23. Which is wonderful news there, and mostly sunny, 10% chance of a rain, and Sawa is, as I said, 10%, mostly sunny, the chance of fog in the west, which was added this morning, and a slight 20% chance of late Sawa about the Bayside suburbs, and light winds. Fire danger is low to moderate. Sun protection is recommended from 10 till about now. And the UV index still remains at about 4. So that is the latest that's coming out as of the weather news. And of course, looking at what's happening out in the community, let's quickly have a look at the COVID cases. So in Queensland does quite well. It's new confirmed cases are 0, which is a great it is a great stream there that it is at 0, and it is wonderful to see that. But when you look at the cases that are happening worldwide or globally, so what do we look at the cases and the numbers? The numbers that are coming out are far above what we have seen right here. So the worldwide cases are 7,684, 6,993 recoveries, and the deaths are 104. Confirmed cases is 10.1 million, and the recovery so far has been the 5.1 million. So about half. We're standing at about 50% on the recovery. The deaths have been 501K. So that is the news that's coming out of the COVID-19 cases. Now, when we talked about why today was a very special day for us, today was the day when I got my award sent to me at the Government House. As you know, I was awarded the OIM, and today was the historic day when the governor bestowed the medal upon me in a function at a ceremony. As we know that these ceremonies normally take place in a very, very big manner, where many people get together, the investiture ceremony which takes place. But today they did it in a very well organized manner, in groups or in lots. So individual person got individual attention. So you were taken in, then the next family, then the next family at the Government House. So let's take a look at the Government House and let's see what the thing is looking like. So.
Oh. Should we knock it down?
And this is at the ceremony, just before the award ceremony is presented, when they look at the books and they read all the names out in the cases, and they do individual books for everyone. So this is at the Government House this morning, and it was wonderful to see, they recognize people in such a great manner that they do individual booklets out for everyone as well. award itself, as you know, there's three medals that come in. The first one's already on my jacket. This is the middle one, is the main one, and the third one is a spare one which you can take to other functions when you are going to other functions there as well. And the presentation ceremony in itself.
Oh, wow.
And here some of the pics around the some of the pics that were photos that were taken around the show as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are some of the photos of the ceremony itself, which happened today, this morning, at the Government House under the guidance of Governor General. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful surrounds of the Government House, it is just so wonderful and so beautiful to see the wonderful surroundings. And the good part was that today we were allowed to take photos inside. Normally you are not allowed to take photos inside as well. Check 1 2. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we know, the surrounds are so beautiful out there, and you look at all the and it's beautiful, just so beautiful to be out there on a day like this. It is just so nice to see. The surrounds there are so beautiful as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, moving on with that, because it is a wonderful day out there, as I said today, and we are so proud that everyone from our family could be there today and take part in that wonderful ceremony that they hold out there. And as we know, something like it, it's the support of the whole community, it's the support of our family and everyone's backing, especially my wife, who's, hard work always behind the scene, which gets us to this point. So it is a wonderful church, and I owe it to all the community and everyone out there. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we move on to the news proper, let's look at our sponsors.
ग्लोबनेट रियलिटी 1989 से लेकर अब तक का विश्वसनीय और माननीय ब्रिस्बेन का रियल एस्टेट एजेंट है। उषा चंद्रा, जो कि ग्लोबनेट की डायरेक्टर है, अपने ग्राहकों को ईमानदार और एथिक सर्विसेज देती हैं। अगर आप ब्रिस्बेन की प्रॉपर्टी में पूंजी लगाना चाहते हैं और आप चाहते हैं कि आपकी प्रॉपर्टी को प्रोफेशनली मैनेज किया जाए, तो आप आज ही कांटेक्ट कीजिए उषा चंद्रा को। लैंडलाइन नंबर है 38654466 और मोबाइल नंबर है 0419775416। और आप प्रॉपर्टी की अधिक जानकारी और करंट अपडेट्स के लिए हमारी वेबसाइट पे लॉगिन कर सकते हैं। हमारी वेबसाइट है www.globenetreality.com.au। ग्लोबनेट रियलिटी आपका अपना लोकल रियल एस्टेट एजेंट है। हमारा पता है ग्लोबनेट रियलिटी, शॉप नंबर 5, 2281 सैंडगेट रोड, बुंदल, क्वींसलैंड। ग्लोबनेट रियलिटी, रियल एस्टेट इज अवर वर्ल्ड।
And real estate definitely is the world. And right now, let's move on and let's look at what's happening out there news-wise. So as we know, we looked at the COVID-19 cases, but right now they are talking about the Opal Tower. And so what's going to happen with the Opal Tower? As we know, it's always been in the news and many times for the wrong reasons as well. So the Opal Tower is... the owners of the units of the Opal Tower are being sued by New South Wales government after discovering more than 500 new defects in the high-rise building. That's a very, very terrible news coming out of there. It should have all been very, very well checked as well. So the next news that is coming is that New South Wales Labor MP, whose home was raided, so what's happening with that raid and what has happened out there? So the Labour MP was Sokwet Mosalame. He is not a suspect in the espionage investigation that saw his Sydney home and office raided last week. So that is another news that's coming out that's making news right at this point in time. And funding is needed to fight against acid spraying and yellow crazy ants, which is a lot that's coming out at this point in time. And we'll have to just manage that part to see how well it can be managed within our there. So it is crazy. And Storm leaves more than 3,000 Western Australia homes and businesses out without power. So that is another very, very bad news that's coming out of Western Australia. And we are reaching to come back, says Darwin's Mindy Markets, and as the return that is happening. So usually a highlight of Darwin's dry season calendar, the Mindil markets, sunset markets were put on hibernation at the coronavirus pandemic, which wreaked havoc across Australia. Now they have returned, bringing them with them the hopes of slow return to the normal. So that is again, a good news that the toilet markets are usually coming back. And Victoria records 75 new cases of coronavirus, and that is, it is quite alarming and discouraging to see that happening out there in Victoria. Victoria sees an concerning uptick of new coronavirus cases with another 75 positive test results identified overnight. The state's Minister for Health, Jenny McCallum, says that this is alarming. Now, there are calls for New South Wales teacher to go suspended over racist rant in classroom. So that again is not on. And they have asked that the teacher will be suspended. And police are also investigating a 44-year-old disappearance in Melbourne, another dig in the former backyard. Australia's share market in the red as the troubled stocks take place. So the Australia share market is lower, dragged down by banks, energy and troubled stocks. Shares in the regional airline Rex rise as it plans to compete on the profitable Sydney, Brisbane and Melbourne routes. As we know, what's been happening out there with the case of, I think that the two cases that have come out, meaning Qantas and Virgin. So, Virgin is going to remain in Queensland, hopefully. The bid has gone through successfully. Now it needs to be implemented. Let's see what happens out there. So, Rex, which has been, the regional sort of airlines, is planning to compete for that space as well. Victoria is right at the edge of being able to contain its second peak of coronavirus. So, that is, again, alarming, but they're trying to manage as best as they can. Prem threatens to cut fundings and publicly saying institutions which don't join the National Redress Scheme. So Prime Minister is warning people that, if you don't join this scheme, that you could be threatened. He's warning the government will name and shame institutions that do not sign up to the National Redress Scheme for institutional child sex abuse. So, it's doing the right thing there to make sure that everyone is on board the scheme that's been put forward. So what's happening with that scheme is that, unless everyone comes on board, they will be named and shamed. Now, for the next news, we go to Taiwan. And what's happening in Taiwan is almost 500 prior evidence have cancelled 2020 due to coronavirus. But in Taiwan's capital, more than 1,000 people have gathered to celebrate the LGBT community. So, they're definitely going ahead there, and they're not afraid of, the coronavirus thing in there. So our game of disgraceful space, as we look at Alistair, and what's happening with him is that Hawthorn coach Alistair Clarkson pleads with AFL to rethink how the holding the ball rule in an attempt to ease congestion, labelling Sunday's win over North Melbourne as a terrible spectacle. So, he's got a point there, and you can always interpret which way the rule goes, and that is what he is edging right at this moment. New clothes and furniture bound for landfill unless charities get more funding. So unless the charities get more funding, all this, the furniture and clothes and everything will just go into the landfill. So coronavirus shutdown leaves retailers with excess stocks that will be dumped if charities cannot find more funding to divert it from the landfill. So, diverting it from the landfill means that they are able to cope with the distribution of that, otherwise they will just be dumped. And Fremantle clings to hope that the West Coast rival facing a daunting task. While Fremantle have lost 7 games in a row, it's not all doom and gloom for the West side. But it is somewhat different picture over the West Coast as it will now move forward. And what's happening in London, as we know, that the British top British civil servant stepped down after reported clashes with Cummings. So, politics everywhere. Prime Minister Boris Johnson, senior political advisor, had been long critical of the civil service, saying it is not nimble enough to deliver the change. Now, the nation's most senior public servant has stepped down. So there you are, ladies and gentlemen, some of the news coming your way. And as I said before today, we do apologize for bringing in the news a little bit later than which we normally do, as today has been a very, very special day and a very busy day for us. But we are making some changes right here, even in the studio every day, and the technicians and renovators were here busy making changes into the office. So there may be some technical glitches which happens, but they are all being ironed out, and we will get back to the normal as soon as all these technical issues are sorted out. New computers being put in place as well, so there's all the testing and trying that's going on right at this point in time. But having said that, let's have a quick look at the upcoming events. Brisbane chapter of Vedanta Centre of Sydney, and all their programs up to date, online Hindu Dharma classes for children, Bala Sanskar Kendra, and that's doing that as well. And Breathe Your Way, the Art of Living Foundation, another wonderful event that always takes place. The Comeback World Conference of Christian Leaders, and that is a wonderful thing to see there as well. Brisbane Super Kings, Satish Rajendran, congratulations on getting the season underway as well. Gurdwara programs have begun, langars have begun, so you can start visiting the temples on the Sundays. But of course, you always need to keep in mind the social distancing rules as well that are still in place and very much in place there. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another presentation of Australian Indian Radio's daily live update, and I hope that you have been enjoying this so far. And as I said before, that yes, please keep bringing those feedback through, and we'd love to get all those feedbacks, as it is based upon the feedback that we can make the improvements that we have said that we would. Now, this is what I mean when you look at the feedback thing, that it is very important that we do get the feedback. Now, just having a quick look at the number of, case reports that we have got. So it is wonderful that last week our reach was 190,288 with 81,000 plus. This was at the time when we did this photo, but I'm pretty sure that the numbers have gone up. So 81,537 video views in 1 week. It is great. It is amazing, and that is all the credit and thanks goes to you people for joining in and giving us that encouragement that yes, we can keep moving in the direction that we are. And it is wonderful. And this week we will have quite a few people coming on board who are coming on to actually talk to us via the video link, or even coming into this studio here as well. And as you know, on Saturday, ST joined us with that wonderful update of the market and what the markets are doing, around Brisbane and the hot spot district. And as we know, that the north side was identified as well as one of the regions which has which is going ahead in leaps and bounds. So that is a wonderful thing to see that the north side is coming up for age. So even though the real estate segment, people have many times said that it is all doom and gloom, it's not always doom and gloom. You need to be out there, and there are some very, very great deals to be had at this time as well. Because when you look at the market, if you buy in a market that is suppressed, you've done well. And the normal thing is, oh, no one's buying at the moment. No one knows what's going to happen. Smart investors make the move at this point in time. They don't wait for the market to come back, because by then you'd be paying inflated prices. So, if you look at the investment cycles, now is the time to invest, even though you might not secure very good tenants, or it might remain vacant for a little while. That's beside the point. But you have to look at the capital gains. What are you going to gain? What are you going to pay for it in an inflated market, or what are you going to pay in a market as under the current circumstances? So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, with that, I'd like to say goodbye until tomorrow. It's been wonderful having your company, and don't forget that on Wednesday, once again, in the morning, there is a very, very important community gathering and a meeting at which my presence is needed. So I will be there. And once again, on Wednesday as well, our daily where the live broadcast will be at 2 p.m. once again. So, ladies and gentlemen, until tomorrow, it's goodbye from me. Be good, and we will see you all at that tomorrow. And hope that you are all keeping